Going.
Okay, so I wanted to walk through a few books that I read and a few books that I use during this time, during teaching at SAU. So I'm a big fan of Bert Baylor books, which is going to be pretty obvious. I really love The Other Way to Listen. It's a great way to invite students to tune in to their senses in a way that they might not have thought about before. And it's a really beautiful story of just connecting with place. And I love to read this pretty early on in the school overnight program because I think it really invites them to, check into their senses a little bit more. I also love Everybody Needs a Rock. We have the rule of no sticks and rocks, must stay on the ground. But I think there's something really valuable about a student connecting with something and bringing it with them on their adventures. This book has a bunch of rules on how to find the best rock. And the art is, of course, incredible. And whenever I've read this and invite students to find their perfect rock, they really find their perfect rock. And I invite them to draw it at some point, and that's super exciting. I also really love these two books as night hike books to read when it's a little bit darker out. They're nice and reflective. The Stuff of Stars being all about how we're all connected and we've always been connected and we are made of the same stuff as stars are, and all of that energy is always recycled. And it is just a beautiful book that kids love to just look at. It's incredible. Similarly, another beautiful book, Mushroom Rain. It's all about rain, and especially being here, it rains a lot. And so when you've got a night hike and kids are tired and they're cold and maybe they're a little bit wet because it's been raining, reading them this and showing them that the rain is actually part of the cycle of creating more mushrooms, and that rain is really important and mushrooms are really important is really cool. And talking about how it's all connected again. All the mushrooms are connected, and the rain is connected to mushrooms, and it's connected to us. My favorite book that I like to read on final days here at Islandwood is I'm in Charge of Celebrations. It is a wonderful book about creating your own celebrations and being in charge and having agency over what things matter to you versus saying these things matter to somebody else. And of course, the art is incredible and beautiful. It's a book that takes a while to read, and I always have kids doing a fun activity afterwards where we talk about things that we want to celebrate from this week, like their bravery, or that they learned about the water cycle, or they made a new friend, all kinds of things. And to wrap this up, I thought I'd use some practical things like field guides. I really love these two mushroom pamphlets. I really like this one because it has real photos and it talks about the different types of mushrooms and how they spread their spores differently, and it also talks about which ones are edible or not. Not that we're eating any of them, but just for fun. And I like that it has real photos that show you exactly what it looks like in real life. But I also appreciate this one with more art on it, because I think it's very beautiful and the colors that they use. And they also just have different mushrooms in each of them, which I think is interesting. But it doesn't tell you about which ones could kill you if you eat them or which ones people do eat. But I just think it's really fun. But they definitely have different ones. Like the artist conch is not in the other one, and that makes me upset sometimes because then kids are like, I don't know what mushroom that is when I don't have this one. So I bring it with me every time. And the last one is a Cascadia field guide. It has art, it talks about ecology, and it's got poetry in it, and it is broken up by the different ecosystems, and it's just incredible. It's got beautiful art, and it's got poems, and it even comes with a field journal, a nature journal. Not that we use that very often because of course we have so many students coming all the time, and I haven't figured out how to use the copy machine yet. So I haven't made any copies of that, but hopefully someday I will, and I can use them as their companion together. Yeah, that's what I recommend to use here.